Greetings, everyone. Happy Sunday. How's everybody doing today? I wanted to come in and just invite you all to the new class that I'm starting. It starts tonight. We are doing the new moon in Gemini and the full moon in Capricorn. And I don't know how you guys are feeling, but the energy is so intense, like everywhere. Like I'm just extraordinarily aware of like how sensitive I feel and how dense the energy feels. And like I feel like I'm walking around with like a house or like bricks on my back. And how important it is during this time right now to allow yourself to really shed. Like we are moving through such new energies for those of us who are conscious of this stuff and doing this work. And it is requiring that we really let go of our old ways of being. And I don't know about y'all, but this, like, let me start here. People think spiritual work is easy. People think spiritual work is easy. And spiritual work is so profoundly challenging. And it's not always challenging, but when it is challenging, it is really, it really gets, it comes to take me so far out of my comfort zone. And one of the things that I'm really working with right now, because we're in Gemini season, is mastering polarities and duality. Knowing that there are opposite poles to everything that we experience. And so as much as I want to experience what feels good, I also have to be able to hold the opposite polarity of what feels challenging. And the work of that is really like, I feel like I'm walking on a tightrope. One of the things that's been interesting for me and, at the time that I'm on the planet is, a lot of women are talking about menopause and things like that. Like, because I'm doing spiritual work, I'm not having those typical menopausal experiences because I'm really working in my inner world to heal the old belief systems, to recognize that what I believe is my body is going to follow suit in that. So if I have a different belief system about this hormonal body experience, then I can have a different experience of it, and I am. But it really is like, it really stretches us. Like, it's so important to know that, like, we don't talk about the changes really that we go through as we age in our culture. We sort of make aging be this negative thing, and everybody's like, oh, I don't want to look a certain way, or I don't want to, everyone's so focused on their bodies, and, like women are, oh, my belly is fat, or, oh, like all that kind of stuff. That stuff is an outpicturing of the internal disharmony. And what I'm really recognizing is that the more I can create space for myself, my body, my connection to my body through forgiveness, through really loving my body, through doing the work to let go of the experiences that I had with my parents, and like really doing work to lighten my heart up, to get free from old narratives, old belief systems. And as I really lighten up and get free, my body responds to that. My body takes on the belief systems I have. So if I am anticipating having a really hard time with menopause and, my life getting harder, or I'm not, going to be able to, I'm not going to be as beautiful as I was when I was in my 20s. If I believe that stuff, then I'm going to experience that stuff. And the opportunity is because that's the narrative that's out there. That's the narrative that the culture sort of buys into. So I have found that I must be vigilant with creating my own narrative and seeding it in my own consciousness on a daily basis so that I don't experience those things that are really just cultural agreements. It's just that everybody agrees that menopause is going to be hard, or that aging is not going to be fun, and that is not the case. That is a cultural Western European idea that's their experience. That's somebody else's experience. And it's so important that we get to create our own reality by understanding the mechanics of our minds, our spirit, our bodies, how we are meant to function. And so for me, where people have to do whatever they need to do to feel right. But I realize that if I practice rituals on a daily basis in a routine way, if I practice rituals that include honoring my body and being in my body and relating to my body, I could skip or forego those cultural agreements around women not this menopausal experience, or us not being able to feel good in our bodies anymore. But I've had to really anchor. I've had to really do the internal work to find out how to do that, and I teach this in 13 Moons. Is anybody here in 13 Moons? Anybody on this call that's in 13 Moons that'll come and talk to me? Or even in Follow the Sun, that will come and join with me. That would be really nice. I would love that if somebody would love to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But if you would, I would love that. So right now, there's so much happening astrologically. Pluto went retrograde and is going back into Capricorn. Saturn is in Pisces. Venus just went into Leo. And really what's being asked of us, what's being required, is for us to be in our own authority. And what is your authority? That's what I have to ask myself. What does it mean for me to be in my authority? And I've had to go through layers of this, and it's something that I've had to peel the layers back. But how I source it is by understanding the cosmology and understanding the nature of the universe. How do I source my authority? Is by understanding the nature of the universe. The universe operates through, these planetary energies and cosmic energies that are everything. I call it God or creator or source, but it is everything. It's not just one particular thing. It is all of these things that work together that really are what I call source or God. And when I understand the nature of how that works, I realize that I am a part of that. I am a part of this natural experience, this organic divine experience that is called God or source. And I also understand that everyone is a part of it. It is an invisible force, like Star Wars, the Force, right? So as I understand that I'm a part of this, then I can recognize that how nature functions is how I function. So if I follow the cycles of nature, then I can understand how I best function. And nature runs cycles through the planetary experiences. So that brings me back to my own natal chart. Nature and natal, the nature of my own system is how I access that through my natal chart. And then I begin to study and understand the mechanics of my own thinking, my own feelings, my own system, how I best function. What are the codes for me to really live the best way that I can? And what that has required of me is to undo the conditioning and to face the conditioning, and to face the conditioning to question myself deeply and profoundly, and then to dismantle old ways of being and begin to construct new ways of being. And how I do that is through the moon work or the retrograde classes, because it is a process that needs to happen really one beat at a time. It's not an all or nothing thing. It is a process. And in this process, where I am at this stage of my own evolution, um, oh, great. I would love for you to join, Tamu. Thank you. That's so nice of you. You must have heard me sending you to come on, Tamu. Let's see if I can. I think you will need to go into my, let's see, holistic. Here you go. Yay! Thank you, Tamu. Yay! Here she come, y'all. Hi there.
Hi. I saw you go on. I was like, I need to listen. What is happening right
Yes.
now?
Thank you so much for saying yes. And let me answer that question for you. Pluto, it's gone back into Capricorn, and we are starting a new moon cycle, and the energy is like, it's just, it's highly intense. Like I feel like I'm on fire. And I literally on fire in this, like not in a hot flash kind of way, in a like, how can I focus my mind? How can I keep my attention on what it is I am intending rather than dropping back into old behaviors and, making up stories and all that sort of stuff. And I'm really and like really like stay present. So it's Pluto. It went back into Capricorn today.
Okay. Well, yeah, I have been really feeling, I mean, beautiful shifts, like you mentioned, the polarity,
Mhm.
like so many amazing, beautiful shifts, and feeling like I want to crawl out of my skin. And um, all the tinctures and flower essences I'm taking are not helping. I
Yes.
just have to be with it. I just have to lean into it. And I don't know if me I have my sun
Yeah.
and my rising sign are in Capricorn. So I don't know if that
It
affects the way I'm
absolutely
experiencing
does.
Pluto
Yes.
Capricorn.
Because it's what it's really doing, it's because it's your sun and your rising sign. So you're really going through a deep identity shift. And so what's
Yes.
going on in your life, right? Like I don't want to, that the changes you're making, the intentions you've set. And so we have to move that stuff through the body. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
we have to move these new realities through our system. It's we've been sort of convinced to think that change is something that just happens like easily, but if it can happen easy, but if it's not something that's anchored in you opening your new way of being through your system, it won't be permanent.
Yes. I'm experiencing that, right? I keep saying I feel like I'm in ceremony. I mean, the living ceremony, but I feel like I'm in a plant medicine ceremony where my body is buzzing and being recalibrated is the only
Yes,
word I have to describe what I
yes,
experience at times. And I've been having that for the last 4 days. Like I feel like I'm
yes,
being
yes, same
recalibrated.
here. Um, Ava said, what helps to move it? Well, the first thing I think is accepting it. Like you have to accept it.
Hmm.
And for me, it feels so uncomfortable. My mind starts to panic and like I'm trying to get away from it. It's like
Yeah.
right, and then I'm like, this is in you, girl. You cannot get away from it, right? So then I want to eat, I want to shop, I want to sex, I want to smoke. I
all
want to
of
do anything to
all
get
of
it
it.
to stop doing it. And then I'm like, finally I catch up and I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, like, can you just be with this? Can you just feel it?
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
right there with you. And breathing mindfully, deep breaths, and like you said, just be with it. I haven't, but I feel like walking in nature and being with the giant trees would be amazing because that does support, yeah, just more conscious
Yes.
breathing, more
It
presence.
doesn't.
Doesn't make
It
it go
doesn't.
away. It just, it doesn't make, not, it's nothing, it's not going to go away. Just
Right.
being able to
And
move through
cold
it.
plunges have been helping me. Like I've been doing cold plunges. That has
Mm.
been really helpful. I've been doing like what is extreme exercise for me, which is not much, but like, running really fast for 30 seconds. Like, it makes me feel like, woo, Lord, like to sort of meet the intensity with another intensity. That is helpful, but
Mhm.
it takes a lot to do that because I feel very lazy right now. Like, whoa, I can't do anything. And so yeah, yeah. Let's see what someone. I laid on the ground and climbed a massive tree today, and it made a difference. So yes, being around big trees.
Yes.
Yep,
Yes.
it is amazing.
Sounds
So
amazing.
So thank you so much. I wanted to just I wanted somebody to share about the moon work, like somebody who's in it and has had an impact of how it has supported your life, or challenges or any of that stuff. And so I just would love to hear your take.
Yes. So, well, if I
Hmm.
just need to give a little backstory, this was the a few days, maybe 10 days before my birthday in 2021, going into
Hmm.
2022. I'm a Capricorn, December 28th, and Monique gave me a birth chart reading and really clarified shifts that I felt like I was on the precipice of making some decisions about. And she suggested the moon work. And simultaneously, my moon blood stopped. I think probably
Hmm.
within days of getting that reading. It was right around the full moon of December. And I proceeded to not bleed for that whole year. But what swooped in, replaced it, was doing this 13 moon work with Monique and the
Hmm.
amazing people that join that, and going through each cycle and cycling with the moon. But it like I said, it replaced my moon blood. So I was now cycling with the moon and paying attention to the phases that change,
Hmm.
every few days, and setting intentions and goals to meet that have
Yeah.
come to be, for sure. I am I am not with my job anymore. I again, but it took me being a Capricorn and being
Structured.
very um structured and wanting
Hmm.
structure, wanting a reliable income and all of these things, but I started nurturing that and getting the courage to leave. And so I just closed out my school year and I'm just diving
Yes.
into the unknown, really. Yeah, so it's just been amazing, and I just have to say the group is just next level. The shares that happen there, the awarenesses that come forth when we gather for whether it's the new
Hmm.
moon call, the
Hmm.
access call, or the full moon call, the awarenesses that people share and the ways that their life is shifting is just so inspiring. It keeps me inspired and it keeps me knowing like, oh
Yeah.
yes, okay, we're doing it. And it's beautiful because the awarenesses come so fast. It doesn't, you don't have to spend a whole bunch of time going, oh, what am I doing? Oh, that's going to be that. I remember we were on the full moon call, and I said something about my trip to Peru, and it was like a negative kind of like, and I was like, oh wait, no, I take that back. I am not affirming what I just said out loud, and I reframed my language around it, to affirm what it is that
Yeah.
I am going, what is going to happen. And it was just a beautiful awareness for
Yeah.
that to happen so quickly, and to even be aware that I spoke something that, nope,
Yes.
that's not how it's going
Yes.
down.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for that. Would you talk a little bit about how the work has helped your creative power? Like, how has it helped you really come into who you are, is what I feel like I want to say, you know.
Mm. That's so, well, I mean, I think, I feel like it starts with
Mhm.
the goals at the beginning of the cycle, setting the goals, and not so much being attached to it, um, coming, manifesting that
Mhm.
in within that moon cycle, but bringing an awareness around that, and then knowing that the way that we move through each phase has a different way
Mhm.
of, I don't even know if I'm explaining this correctly, morphing the goal, like the clearing phase, what needs to be cleared out to
Yeah.
that's standing in your way of even,
Yes.
manifesting that goal. Um, and then the gathering phase, and the way that what am I collecting? What am I embodying so that I can actually,
Yeah.
um, embody that goal? And the seeing phase, like what are the signs that are telling me, that? And so, yeah, I just feel like dropping into, the creation, the womb, the
Yeah.
moon. I mean, this is
Yeah.
all, creation, and just being intentional with
Mhm.
the way the moon is cycling brings us more in touch with our source of,
Yeah.
our creative
Yes.
power within our womb.
Wow. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So I feel like one of the things that I have gotten teaching it for this year is that how every phase really is an aspect of our own magic. And we get to practice our magic through every moon cycle. And you really do become like a wizard, a magician. Like things just start to come to you, right? Don't they?
Yes. It's just mine. Yeah, I can't even, I sat down to note everything that
Mhm.
happened in the last cycle, and I'm just like, wow, oh wait, that happened. Oh wait, that and that and that and that and that. And then what I love is Monique gives us the opportunity in the last phase, which is the using phase, to brag about what happened. And how often do we have permission to just brag
Yeah.
about what is happening? We are many of us are conditioned to
Mhm.
keep that to ourselves. We don't want to make anyone else feel away. And, um, she always invites us to do it. And in order to honor
Mhm.
the cycle, I do it every time, not because, I have a big ego and want everyone to know what happened, but really because I want to acknowledge my own work.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so empowering because I mean, I think this work is beautiful for men and women, but for women especially
Yes.
though, it's such an opportunity for us to harness our creative power because we are we are made to be creative every month. Like our bodies, the energy in us is attempting to create something every month. That's why we bleed. And when we harness our energy with the moon. And if you're not, you can be creating a baby if you want to. Like you can create whatever you want. But if you are not creating that, then you're still harnessing that energy so that you can use it in other ways. And it's just so empowering. It has helped me. Like I just have confidence in myself now. I just trust that I'm going to generate my life. I just trust that the universe is for me. There are times I can have like 25 cents in my bank and I know I have something I have to do and I know the money's going to come because I am doing the rituals and literally it will just it's like I have an invisible force that's just going, what do you need? Okay, there it is. It's profound.
Yes. Can I
Yes.
share one more thing? Because you had
Mm-hmm.
started with talking about menopause. And like I shared, I went through a year
Mm-hmm.
of not bleeding and now I'm postmenopausal. And as my last school year was closing out, I was having the most intense hot flashes, finishing my report cards, meeting with students, doing all these things that yeah, I have
Mm-hmm.
absolutely no desire to do anymore. And I was on fire, literally waking up multiple times a night, just overheated, having hot flashes. And I'm like, why is
Mm-hmm.
this, I thought it kind of went away and it came back. And as soon as every little thread, little cord that I cut, um, last student meeting, last report cards, went to the
Mm-hmm.
graduation, said goodbye to my student, all the things. And slowly the
Mm-hmm.
hot flashes started to diminish as I let those things go. And it was just like,
Yeah.
wow, not to say they won't come back.
Mm-hmm.
Very stressful moments. I'll start to feel the heat rising in my, from, I get mine
Yeah.
from the neck up. It's like my
That's your
head's on
force.
fire,
That's your life force.
but I do, yes. Yeah, but I do know that so much of what comes up for in this
Mm-hmm.
time of transition for women, um, is that this call to step more fully into your purpose, into your power, to no longer, my mantra lately has been, I will
Yeah.
no longer do things that make me
Yeah.
feel like shit. Like like no space for
Yeah.
those things anymore. And some people really do hold on to that. They hold on to the old identity, the things they thought they should be doing, the things that bring financial security. Not
Yeah.
that I'm shaming anyone for that, because I totally understand it. And there's an ask
Yeah.
to change and I feel like when you do, it can potentially, now I would be curious to take a poll of all the women who are making big changes or
Mm-hmm.
even subtle changes in their life, and how that affects their menopausal or perimenopausal symptoms. I'd be curious
Yeah.
because I can only speak for
Yes.
me and you can only speak for you, and I don't want to take away that some of the perimenopausal symptoms are really
Yes.
really intense for some women. And but I'd be curious to know, if you start to shift your life, how that shifts how you experience the symptoms that are typically associated with menopause.
Absolutely. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
It's like I menopause in my view is just us redirecting our power, redirecting our energy that is our creative energy that have been allocated biologically for children, but now that's not what you're creating, but you're still a creator. You're still, so that energy has to go somewhere. And when you, like you said, when you stopped doing things that you didn't want to do in this last year, then the hot flashes went away. It's almost like you had to generate extra power because you were doing something that was out of alignment with your
Yeah. Yeah.
frequency. So, what if that's what hot
Yeah.
flashes are? What if it's just that we're
Oh my
having all
God.
these hot flashes because we're forcing ourselves to do things? So, literally, you have to drive all this power, so much power that it makes you
Yeah.
overheat to force yourself into an action
Yes.
that you actually don't want to be in. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yes. Well,
Yeah.
some people call them power surges. I hear some women not
Mm-hmm.
calling them hot
Mm-hmm.
flashes, but power surges. And yeah, I mean, in a relationship that might be time to let go of. I mean, I can imagine women if they marry young and they're with their
Yes,
partners for 25 or 30 years, and then all of a sudden they're like,
yes,
who is that next to me? Or
absolutely.
who am I?
It really is. And it's so
All of that.
significant right
Yeah.
now on the planet that we reclaim our feminine power, our inner world, our creative domain over ourselves, that we are no longer living our lives as servants to anything external, right? Not servants to bosses, not servants to husbands or children or any of that. We have to serve ourselves, and the reason we get to serve ourselves is because the divine is wanting to move through us. And if we are not loyal to ourselves and honoring our unique desires and our connection to the divine force, then you can't be trusted. You know what I mean? It's like having a child that is disobedient, and you can't give them more responsibility because they're not being responsible for the little bit of power they have, right? So then you say to that child, well, I can't trust you. That's what the creator says. If you're not being fully responsible for yourself and loyal to yourself and your body and your needs, then you are not responsible enough to take on the purpose that you're here for. And so that's that. But thank you so much. I know you're on your way, you're going on a journey right now. You're on your way to a spiritual journey. Do you want to share anything, and then where people can find you and any of that, like whatever? Okay.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, I'm actually not tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm heading up to Oregon to go to a gathering of 750 women about called Spirit Weavers. And I'll actually be sharing 2 offerings, and one of them will be um, a womb circle for women navigating perimenopause. So it's called Dancing the In-Between. And then I'll also be doing a natural facial workshop or class, or Skillshare is what they call them. And yeah, and then I'll be offline for part of July, going to Peru. When I come back, I'll be hosting 21-day raw food detox journeys. Hopefully, have the intention of creating a online womb circle for women navigating perimenopause. And I make flower essences. I have a botanical business called Ucha Botanical. So you can go to holistic_shine here on Instagram, or holisticshine.com, and
Thank
find
you
out
so
more.
much, Tamala. First of all, it was really great to have you back in the group for this month. I love that.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I'm so excited for you and what you have done. Like, I'm so excited that you created the opportunity to leave your job, that you took the time, that you had, you started a business and you did it gently. You know what I mean? Like, I just have loved watching your process and being able to support you. One of the things that I love about my work, that I just recently started saying, is that in my work, I'm just planting seeds. Like, I feel like I'm just planting seeds, and then these seeds turn into trees, and then I get to go sit under those trees and say, can I have an apple? Or can I, because my life is filled with women like you who are doing this work and whose lives are transforming, and I am in awe. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
it's like I get to be at the birth portal for women, and I'm just in awe, and I'm so honored. So thank you, Tamala. I really appreciate our connection and the work that we get to do together.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Monique, and for that first reading that kind of gave me permission to start tending to all of that and more
You're welcome. You're
intentionally.
welcome. And so before I go, we started talking about the energy right now and how intense it is. So for those of you who are just coming in, I just want you to know that the energy is really high right now, and the work is to just be able to be with it. You know, be with it to the best of your ability, and love yourself and take care of yourself and give your body nutritious things that are going to make you feel aligned. And so that is that. Okay. Thank you, Tamu. Bye bye. Good night, everyone. Talk to
Bye.
you guys later.